Welcome back. It's another episode of Cageside. Today we're talking UFC 273. It's a big ass pay-per-view. Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. That's who's headlining the card. We're going to be talking about a bunch of other fights on the show, so don't go anywhere.
You gotta be kidding me.
Probably the most exciting pay-per-view in a while. Fights we've been looking forward to happening, and they all come together in this one massive pay-per-view. We got my boy Chris on the show again. What's up, Chris? What's going on?
What's going on? I would agree. Probably the best pay-per-view of the year. I was thinking about driving down to Jacksonville, but gas and stuff. So,
bro, if you the amount of gas you would have to spend to get to Jacksonville would outweigh the cost of the tickets. I'm sure that are not cheap. I know two people who are down there who we did the show with before. They're going to be going to the fights. Hopefully, we can do a recap of the fights on Monday and not only talk about what the fights were like, but what their experience being there and witnessing what they think it's going to be like. KHAMZAT's, grand showing here to the world.
They're gonna smash everybody.
Straight title shot, basically. So we'll see. Plenty to talk about. Once again, if you're here, please make sure you're subscribing and you're following us on Instagram at Cageside Show. Make sure you are reaching out with any questions, thoughts, complaints. Those we will ignore. So let's get things rolling, brother. Volkanovski takes on the Korean Zombie. And to me, an unexpected matchup. People who are Korean Zombie fans love this matchup. They think it's Korean Zombie's well-deserved shot here against the badass that is Volkanovski, right? I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's an easy fight for Volkanovski. But what are your thoughts on it before we play some clips?
Yeah, I mean, the matchup we all wanted was Holloway-Volkanovski 3. That was the matchup that was supposed to happen. But then Holloway got injured, and then it was really weird because he said he was ready to go in April, and then it was a mess. But he was injured; he couldn't make the March date. It got pushed to April with Korean Zombie, and it's not the matchup we wanted, but it's not an awful matchup. Like, I'll still be excited, I'll still watch it, but I do agree. I just think Volkanovski is a couple levels above Zombie. Zombie's good, Volkanovski's great.
This could be one of those fights that we have low expectations for and might surprise us and might be a really entertaining fight because there's no doubt that the Zombie can bring it. There's no doubt that he has all the tools to put on a great performance and beat most of the guys. Volkanovski is just a different beast. Ortega brought it to him. Ortega looked fantastic, but still not enough, right? Max Holloway definitely lost the first fight. I thought he won the second fight. Maybe they're the only two that can really, beat each other. And really, is that safe to say?
Yeah, I think when you look at featherweight and a lot of these other divisions, there's like two guys at the top. I think Holloway and Volkanovski are a couple levels ahead of the rest of 145ers. I mean, maybe there's a guy, coming up in the top 5, top 6. But I mean, Zombie could get it done. He could, he's got some pop. He's a good fighter, but I just think Volkanovski has shown. I mean, he's 23-1, undefeated in the UFC. He's shown that he's a different level. See how close him and Holloway are. You see how they both butchered Ortega. You see how Holloway was beating up on some other guys. I mean, it's going to be a good fight, though, for sure. Like, Volkanovski's never in a boring fight. Zombie's never in a boring fight. So it's going to be a good fight. You never know what can happen. But
do you think Ortega's performance against Zombie says or kind of predicts how this fight's going to go? Because Ortega dismantled Zombie.
Yeah, Ortega did dismantle Zombie, and then Volkanovski a year later dismantled Ortega. So, you do the math. Volkanovski should dismantle Korean Zombie. It's MMA. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. I mean, based on those performances, yes, Volkanovski should win. He's a minus 800.
Remind me, did Volkanovski ever get wobbled by Max Holloway? I can't remember.
He got dropped to a knee. In the second fight, he got dropped real quick in the first and second round.
And just jumped right up.
Yeah, Volkanovski, I think what makes him so good is he's not, a physical freak. He's a good striker. He's a good grappler. He just has such great fight IQ that I just think it's going to be hard for Zombie to catch him in anything. I mean, he got out of that submission by Ortega.
Yeah, I mean, how he slipped out of that choke was something else. All right, tell me what this clip that I'm about to play is of Volkanovski.
So I guess yesterday in the media scrum, Volkanovski was asked about McGregor and his legacy within, the 145-pound champions. Volkanovski commented on it a little bit, and it's interesting, the dynamic between those four
All right.
former featherweight champions.
All right, let's take a listen.
Where would you put him as far as the greatest featherweights out there?
Yeah, man, you need defenses. That's the thing. Like, I'm going to give him respect. The dude can fight. You know what I mean? He's made some bad decisions and all that type of stuff, but he can fight. You know what I mean? To take out Aldo in Aldo's prime and all that, that's saying something as well. But I think Aldo's still showing that he's still in his prime, so he just doesn't age. But again, I feel like I've definitely done a lot more than him. So I think he's, out of all the champions, I'd say you have to be at the bottom of the list. He ain't gonna like that, but.
At what point are we gonna have McGregor stop being brought up? He gets brought up without having any correlation to any fight, but he's without having fight news. It's kind of insane that he still had his aura still, overshadows a lot of these guys. Like, I would hate to be an active fighter fighting to defend my belt and being asked about somebody who's not even in the top 10. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I feel bad for Volkanovski too, because his biggest headline from yesterday was the McGregor stuff, and then he's not even like the most excited. Like, his fight isn't the fight that's most talked about or most looking forward to. It's like the third between Chimaev Burns and Jan Alja. So I feel bad for Volkanovski, not getting the shine, but I'm sure he has a nice life.
Well, that's the UFC's fault because they chose to stick. Well, they put more marketing power to KHAMZAT than Volkanovski.
An exciting fighter, an exciting debut. Michael, you going with KHAMZAT or Chimaev for this one?
So you created a monster and you put him against another monster, right? So that fight could have been a pay-per-view standalone, or it could have been for sure the main event on a fight night. So you put it as the third fight down, because it's not for a belt. So yeah, that makes sense. So, but anyway, I think that Volkanovski fight is the least we have to break down, because Aljamain Sterling has been he's been the untested, undefeated champ of the bantamweight division because he's been inactive. Since Piotr Jan dropped him with an illegal knee. Are you excited about the fight? And then we'll go from there.
Of course, I'm excited about the fight. It's Aljamain Sterling and Piotr Jan. They're always in entertaining fights. The first fight, it was a good fight until what happened. Of course, there's kind of a misconception. Like, everyone thinks Jan was destroying Sterling in that first fight. Jan was not dominating Sterling. Was he going to win? Yes, but it was the first couple of rounds were very competitive. So it's going to be Sterling has a shot. It's going to be another good fight. I'm very excited for this fight. Yeah.
Are you seeing Aljamain going with submission attempts over striking in this fight?
Yeah, I think Sterling is gonna try to grapple, try to get some. He's gonna have to work on those timings of his takedowns, because Jan is elite grappling as well. So he's gonna try to get him down. I don't know. He's gonna try to get him down, and I think he's gonna go for the rear naked choke. That's if he wins, that's how I think he would win. And
it would have to be in the beginning while they're still dry. I will tell you this. I need Aljamain Sterling to win, because I liked Aljamain Sterling a lot. And ever since the knee, I've stopped liking Aljamain, his character, what he represents, how he's been going about it. I don't know that he's going about it the right way. Maybe it's working for him behind the scenes. Maybe he is locking down more deals because of his popularity in certain ways. All right. Business-wise, if it works for him. But it's been so long that all I've seen is a cringe version of Aljamain that I'm not a fan of. And that started with taking the belt from the illegal blow, which other fighters have been in that same position, have not taken the belt. And maybe that's been a bad choice they've made for their career. Like Anthony Smith against John Jones. So I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is, but it does say something about the person who takes the trophy, even though they know they didn't win, kind of thing. that I'm not a fan of. So with that said, I agree with you. I don't think Aljamain was getting, beat like very decisively. I just need him to put on a show and really earn that belt.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, then it's going to be hard to feel the way I used to feel about him before Piotr. Now, with that said, too, I didn't like Jan necessarily that much because he has another very, as you notice, I pick fighters based on their character, not so much their fighting skill. Jan, I'm not a big fan also how he comports himself, but he's a badass fighter. He really does. He is a solid fighter. So I think it'll be a really good fight. It's not going to happen again, so we'll get to see either a finish or we'll get to see a 5-round battle. So let's take a listen to him in our recent press conference.
How this meeting end?
If we will see his team, we kill every team. Right now, not Saturday.
Please go ahead and translate that for me because I didn't understand what the hell he said.
I guess someone asked him, hey, Piotr, if you see in this fight week, if you see Aljamain's team, what's going to happen? And he said, very cold, like Piotr Jan does. If we see his team, we will kill every team. Not now, not Saturday, right now. So there does seem to be some bad blood between the two.
He's a little too hardcore, Slow down.
I mean, I think he's from Siberia, so you grew up in Siberia. That's probably how you're just gonna act. I don't think if they see each other they're gonna get into a fight. I think they'll probably be all right. But I mean, I'm just happy this rivalry between Sterling and Jan is gonna have a conclusion. I swear to God, if it's like another illegal knee, I'll be so sad. I hope Aljamain Sterling doesn't fluke it with like a random spinning back fist in like the first minute. I mean, That's not fluke, but I hope we get decisive, no matter what. Decisive.
I'm with you because it does happen. It does happen that one was finished like that, and then the next one is also very hard to. Well, actually, kind of like the Kyle Dawkins fight, where the first one was what it was with what's his name, and then it didn't happen. So it's like this. You never really know, and that's not what we want. We want to know. So let's take a look at how the knee played out that started this whole rivalry.
Look at him just pressing on the head here, though. That's illegal. His knee was down.
So he was a grounded fighter, and you can't do that to a grounded fighter. He knew. He admitted that he knew. I believe he said he heard his corner tell him to do it. Don't fuck with Siberians. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, that's illegal knee 101 right there. So is that textbook what not to do? I don't think he did it I don't think he knew that it was illegal. I don't think he did it to be mean or like to
That's your job, dude. That's your job. You need to know the rules. You know what I mean?
You know the rules. I mean, that was a lap. I guess a moment of stupidity, but it looked hard though. Do you think he was faking it? Do you think he was playing a little bit to get the belt?
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay. That's interesting.
Well, hold on.
He might have. No one really knows besides Aljamain.
The Oscar-winning performance was bullshit.
Yeah.
Stay here with me.
The knee was legit. It hurt him.
Mm-hmm. Like when Stipe Miocic got KO'd by Ngannou last year, he got up quicker than Aljamain Sterling did with that knee. So he was really rolling on the ground for a while, when a lot of people have gotten up soon.
Hey, he was partying that same night with the belt around his neck. We know how when fighters get, especially by the way, something like that could really hurt a fighter. Like it could. We've seen boxers who like during the when they're like separating them or whatever, and somebody takes a cheap shot and like they can get knocked out. Like it can be a serious. He didn't get knocked out. He was partying that same night. It was a show. He took advantage of the situation. Listen, he's not wrong to get the belt. That's the rules. So he didn't do anything wrong. It's just how he went about it. So
it should have been no contest though. That's
yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right. I'm gonna insert music, ominous music here. I don't even know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be ominous. the one and only, the one that the rumors just don't stop. The beast that nobody has seen perform to his highest potential. The boogeyman, the one who carries grown men across the cage so his ball stain of white sees just how much of a badass he is. We're talking about the one and only KHAMZAT. This is his breakout fight, going against Gilbert Burns, who has only seen adversity against the champ, Kamaru Usman. What is your first immediate thought about this fight?
Very excited. I think this is maybe the most anticipated fight of the year. I would say that. Like, look at Chimaev and Burns countdown. It has over 1 million more views than the main event's countdown. Clearly, everyone's very excited about this fight. It's the people's main event. I am totally with Chimaev hype train. I think he's going to be champ, double champ, maybe even triple champ. I think Usman gets destroyed. Adesanya gets destroyed easily. Maybe not Usman, but
wait,
I'm excited. I think.
Is he too?
Oh, Izzy, I think he wouldn't probably finish Izzy in the first round. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm all the way. I'm all the way.
Listen, I respect your level of commitment to this guy. He has not shown anything that wouldn't make anybody feel different, right? Like it makes sense. Gilbert Burns is a good next step to really see that.
Yeah.
To really see that, because then what are you going to do? Or what excuses are there going to be that he's not the big deal, the big deal that they're hyping him up to be? He just beat the guy that everybody thought could possibly beat Usman at one point. You know, that was a conversation. So
yeah.
This is the perfect fight. I think this is the perfect fight for both of these guys, because if Gilbert Burns somehow knocks him off the train tracks, huge for Gilbert Burns again. He's back on the top. You know, that's not going to happen. He's going to get beat very easily by KHAMZAT. Honestly, more so because of the style. I think KHAMZAT he's a bigger guy. He has all the skills. He's well-rounded. I don't know how quick it'll be, but something tells me it'll be actually quicker than we expect, or than some doubtfuls might expect. Let's take a listen to what he said in the press conference real quick.
What have you made of what he has done since moving up?
In this division, he lose like when it comes to Usman, he lose and start to cry, and he beat like old man who was like, you know, like what is his name, Damian Maya, almost 40-year-old, who is beating there. I don't know. I will fight 84 kilos, 77, and he come up from 70, and he start to cry when he lose his fight. You know. Nothing. He can't do nothing to me, you know. I'm gonna smash that guy.
Why is it that I like his trash talking and his evil character, but I don't like Jan?
Well, I think Chimaev speaks English. Jan doesn't really speak English. That he needs a translator. Chimaev, I think everyone likes Chimaev. Chimaev is a cool guy. He's funny. You can tell he's genuine. I mean, he has humble beginnings. I mean, Chimaev, he could be the next big star.
Okay, so first of all, you almost called me racist there in the beginning. It is not because Jan doesn't speak English.
Well, I mean, it's easier to get conveyed.
No, I think in your second part of that comment, I think you nailed it. It's because KHAMZAT can laugh at himself and he can have fun, and that shows that when he's serious, that I believe that. Jan is a stone cold type of guy at all times. So I don't really I can't believe somebody's like that at all times unless you're Putin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So KHAMZAT is likable. He gives you an opportunity to like the guy, you know, and then he backs up what he says. So another thing that I love about him is, of all the people, he's chosen to be with Till for this training camp. I'm a huge Till fan. Like, this is perfect for Till and his next fight, whenever that comes, because you're fighting with the guy who everybody says is the next biggest star. That's fantastic. And for KHAMZAT, well, he's also not messing around. He's training with a big, thick, badass fighter in Darren Till, who just has had, you know, he had a quick rise to the top, and there's some bad choices there. So It all sounds fantastic. I'm loving this situation. I think I'll be honest. I think I'm happy to stay up for that fight and could kind of trickle down after that a little bit. I'll obviously stick around. I'll watch them, but that's like you said, that's the main event. And then everything else is a cherry on top. KHAMZAT ran into Burns. So let's see who he really is as a person. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, everyone knows Chimaev's a good dude. First, I just see when you look at Chimaev is much bigger than him. I mean, Chimaev is a big middleweight, really. He out-muscled a middleweight Jack Hermanson in a wrestling match a couple months ago.
Yep.
Burns used to be at 155. But I mean, like Chimaev, yeah, everyone knows he's a good dude. He's funny. The videos with Till are great because you can see like all of a sudden they're, good buddies.
And he calls him Fat Boy.
Jumping in pools. So
yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, like you said, that's definitely the most anticipation for any fight. So.
Yeah. The card doesn't, I mean, it still has other good fights in it too. Mackenzie Durham versus Tisha Torres, I think is going to be a good fight. I do think Mackenzie is going to lose though. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised that Mackenzie Durham is the slight favorite. I just think if she can't get Tisha Torres to the ground and she can't submit her, she has no chance of winning because Torres is a good striker. And Tisha Torres has shown she has really good wrestling, really good takedown defense. Mackenzie Durham, she's great at jiu-jitsu, probably has the pound for pound best jiu-jitsu out of any female fighter, but she just isn't great at getting it to the ground. So I think Tisha Torres will probably take a decision there.
I agree with that breakdown. Let me take a look real quick at the prelims, see if there's anything. I mean, see, the fights continue. We have Ian Gary. For those of you who don't know who Ian Gary is, he's the one that promised he was going to be the next Conor McGregor and has put on the performances he needs to back that up. But he's taking it slow. He said to himself, I'm not going to be rushed like others. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to prove because his mom thought that was a bad idea when he said that as a plan for his career. And he's trying to prove her wrong in that he will become the next Irish superstar. Any thoughts on Ian?
Yeah, I was at the MSG card, my first UFC fight I've ever been to, and the crowd really got behind him. They really liked him. So yeah, he's really young, 24, I think. So undefeated. Had some problems in the debut a little bit. He said he was nervous, but he got a really nice KO at the end of that first round. And yeah, I mean, he's fighting Darian Weeks. I think he should probably win that one pretty easily. But I'm not sure if he'll be future champ, but I like him. He's good.
Underneath him, so we're taking it from the top down. Rosenstrike is taking out Tybura. That's going to be a banger of a fight as well. That's the number 8 against number 10 in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, that's a good fight in that division. I think, two guys who have kind of beaten kind of the unranked top 15 kind of guys, but have lost to like the really elite guys. I mean, Rosenstrike, we know, is a good counter striker, good power puncher. I think we probably wins that one by knockout because I think Tybura, his style, where he kind of grinds on you against the cage, gets you down. I think he gets hit a little bit. And I think if you're getting hit by Rosenstrike, you're probably not going to withstand that. And I think Rosenstrike's shown in the Blades fight, even though he lost, if Blades is working for takedowns really hard, I think Tybura probably not going to get the takedown. So he's shown he's decent in grappling. So.
I agree. Aspen Ladd versus Raquel Pennington. Aspen Ladd has had a rough go at it with her career. She showed all the promise. She even got a main event not too long ago. She's facing a vet in Raquel Pennington who, even though Aspen is number 4, which I didn't know that, against number 7 in Raquel Pennington, Pennington can probably get away with the win in this one.
Yeah, I mean, Aspen Ladd has had it really tough. Is she even going to make weight? We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. She missed weight in October, and she turned around 2 weeks to fight at featherweight, and she lost because she wasn't really throwing anything, and her coaches was screaming at her. It's been a rough time for Aspen Ladd. I just don't think. Something's missing there for her anatomy as a fighter. So I probably would go with Pennington as well. But Ladd, she's talented. She could.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. She needs to get her career in line, I think, and obviously it starts with a win against Pennington. We'll end it on Mickey Gall against who the hell cares, because they just throw him against anybody at this point, and they started his career that way, which is a shame because Mickey Gall's a pretty damn good fighter, and they started him with CM Punk. So, what? Any thoughts on Mickey Gall?
Any thoughts on Mickey Gall?
He's from Jersey, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's down training in Florida now. I mean, yeah, he grew up in the UFC, right? I think he was there he's been there for a long time. He's kind of a 50-50 fighter. Looks good, loses, looks good, loses. I think maybe he'll get this one. I don't know. I don't think, he's going to be a future contender, but, everyone, we like him. Wish him well.
He's almost like a cowboy without the cowboy credentials. It's like somebody you always like to see fight, somebody you kind of tend to go for to win. But, I don't know. It's a tough one. Listen, man, I am very excited for these fights. UFC 273, Jacksonville, Florida. If it happens in Florida, it stays in Florida. That's what I hear. We will be chatting throughout the fight, see what we get right and wrong. If you're here, please subscribe, because most of our listeners are not subscribers, even though they're listeners on whatever platform you prefer to get your podcast, whether video or audio. Make sure you're following cageside.show.com. That has everything there, so you don't have to look for it. Cageside Show on YouTube, Cageside Show on Instagram. Brother, enjoy the fights. What can I say?
I'm excited. All right, real quick.
Yes.
Volkanovski, 5th round TKO. Jan, decision.
Wait, no. Let's slow it down. Let's go back. I'm gonna throw you full screen on this one. Give me your picks.
All right, real quick. Let's get it. Volkanovski, late finish, 5th round TKO. Jan, I think Sterling is patient, so I'm going to go Jan decision, 49-46. And Chimaev, 1st round TKO. I'm not sure if he's going to take him down or just beat him in the stand-up, because Burns, but I think Chimaev's strength should outweigh Burns' jiu-jitsu, so I'm going to go Chimaev 1st round TKO. Those are the big three. Let's see how it goes.
Hit up your favorite betting site and either take Chris's picks or take mine, which are always wrong. I will give you mine now. I'm going to say Volkanovski wins early. 3rd round TKO. I'm going to say Aljamain wins by submission. Wins by submission 2nd round. I'm going to say KHAMZAT. Ooh, this is tough. KHAMZAT 2nd round KO. I'm going to finalize on Tisha Torres wins by decision. And that is my picks. Love them or hate them. Who the hell really knows? That's what we watch. All right, people. See ya.